This call is from a federal prison.
Welcome to Beyond the Circus. This is Dale Hummel, along with co-star Ryan Rash.
Hello, hello, hello.
A big week in politics, Ryan.
No, it's something.
It is something. It really
something.
is. So
I would like to extend my condolences to you, and I know that you're grieving. And how are you doing, Dale?
I'm good. I am.
No. Your boyfriend, Ron DeSantis, did not do well, and you broke up with him mid-debate.
I thought during the debate you said my boyfriend was your new.
No. DeSantis, no one thinks DeSantis won. Nobody thinks DeSantis won. And you, his biggest fan, dumped him in the middle of the debate and got a new boyfriend, Viagra Ramshackle.
I like the name.
Viagra Ramshackle is your new boyfriend. Did you at least send Ron flowers telling him that you broke up with him?
I think he's good. Before you continue to put things, pull things out of my head and make them up. I'm gonna actually take a little bit of a serious approach, and then I'll go the other direction. So, and I know we visited. I could hear you and Clifton visiting before I tuned in this morning, but it's interesting to me that depending on who you talk to, whether it's on the right, the left, even within the right or left, there is a lot of variation on what came from that debate. And
I don't think there is as much.
See, I watched the nine panelists. I think it was still on Fox, which I'm moving from Fox to Garage News. I just can't find the channel. But anyway, when they stated it, and I'm going to try to summarize a little bit of those nine. And there was one for Tim Scott. There's one for whatever. But in general, when they talked about the policy, it came back to those that obviously are following Trump's policy. And I think most of them on stage, with the exception of a couple, are definitely going down that path. But there was a lot of people that feel, okay, here's DeSantis. He's already proven what he's done. Here's Vivek that is really sounds like he's another version of a younger, friendlier version of Trump, if you want to take it that route.
Whatever the fuck.
And no, I'm telling you what they were saying in their polls, what the populace was saying. And then I go and look at another study group, and it could be something totally opposite. So there's a lot of different opinions and a lot of different views coming from not the pundits, and I think even the pundits, but the actual person out there that watched that debate. Everybody comes up with something different. I am going to be in a minority, I'm sure, on this, and maybe in with you, and I haven't discussed it. When I look at the candidates up there, and Chris Christie bothered me in a couple things, and Hutchinson.
Everyone bothered me except for like two.
Okay, so what I'm going to be in contrast with you on, I like where their policy is in general. I don't think it's far off of
policy talk.
They're all agreeing basically with continuing what Trump had for policy or going back to such. And that makes me happy that we've evolved from what I call the old guard Republican to at least more of a Trump Republican, that here we are going to be conservative. We are going to put America first. I see that in most of those candidates up there, and that makes me feel good. So I could eliminate two of them, three of them.
Okay, so
and I would be good with the, and I would be good with the policy that the rest implement. Now, are there things I don't like about them that annoy me or whatever? Yeah, but guess what? Trump annoys the hell out of me too, but I would put him in the presidency immediately because I think he's the best for the country and his policy is unbelievable.
Okay, clearly you're on meds. I knew you were that night when you were texting me, but now you definitely are. But anyway, so I watched like all afternoon yesterday, and again, there was some that showed people and their reaction, what they thought, who they hated, all this other stuff. But like my synopsis from watching a little bit of CNN, a little bit of MSNBC, a lot of Fox was this: two people like won, and that was Viagra Ramshackle and Nikki Haley. DeSantis was third, and then everybody else I mean, I'm not saying they did bad, but they didn't do anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think why don't we just make it real simple here, and kind of like Shark Tank. Let's just throw a couple of these out immediately. So your former Arkansas governor, Asa.
Those two on the end, they're done.
Asa's gone for me. That's an easy one. Now I want to stick, and he's done.
Oh God, you're back on this old man from North Dakota fucking again.
He has no chance. Doug Burgum, North Dakota governor. He has no chance.
Do you like him because he is an old man like you that does crazy shit to break his ankle? I mean, like what?
No, he didn't break. His Achilles is torn, I believe.
Whatever.
Okay, so I want to before we dismiss him, and he is gone. He's never had a chance from the beginning. However, the little bit that he spoke, I thought was logical. I thought there was common sense based in what he said. I suspect I would have no issues with his policy either. But there is no charisma. There is no chance that the public is going to get behind him. So he is gone. So you've got both of them on the ends completely gone. Do you want to throw Chris Christie in there, but pick on him first?
Chris Christie is the biggest gone of them all.
Yes, I agree. I'm
like he got nothing but booed the whole entire time.
What is shocking to me, and a couple of the others got a little bit, but not like Christie. Why can't he at least adapt a little bit to the crowd? Why wouldn't he try to pander to him a little?
This is what I do. Okay, and again, I'm not saying your old dude from North Dakota sucks. I mean, whatever.
I don't think he has anything that makes him electable. Okay. But I do like his logic and his policy.
Okay, but like the Chris Christie person, why is him? I see no reason why he and the two old guys on the end are even doing this, because again, neither one of the two old guys on the end are even are electable, even close to electable. Trump's not going to put them in their cabinet. There's nothing there for them. Nothing. Because Asa, whatever, he's the one that says he won't support Trump at all, and all this. So like, and Chris Christie gets up there, makes a fool out of himself, basically tries to like tell everybody to go to hell. He gets booed the entire time. What is his purpose up there?
I discussed this briefly with you, and I agree. There is no chance there. I think he was delusional enough at one point to assume that there were going to be enough anti-Trump because of the indictments, because of all those things, that it might be popular to go against the grain, and he was just drastically wrong.
Oh.
Other than that, it's nothing more than trying to sell books or face recognition. I don't know, because there is at this point he just needs to go away. But I think he'll try to stick around for the next debate. I think he wants more face time, and that's the last thing he needs.
See, I don't think any of these people are quitting till at least Iowa. I mean, you've made the debate stage; they've all qualified for the.
Do they have to qualify each time?
Yes, but I don't know what this. Do the stipulations get higher as they go? I don't know.
I don't have that information.
Because okay, so the Suarez dude, the mayor of, is it Miami, that's running?
Yes,
he wasn't on the debate stage. But
yes.
Okay, so anyway,
kind of forgot about him actually.
Okay, so he told everybody that if you didn't qualify for the first debate, you need to get out. Well, he didn't qualify, but I saw something that he now says that he amends that because he thinks he can qualify for the second debate. But if you don't qualify for the second debate, you definitely have to quit. But so that's why I know there are qualifications for each debate. But Chris Christie, again, getting back to him, God bless him. I don't.
No, just go away.
He didn't read the room. I think he got off on the fact they were booing him. But like, of the whole thing, and even the blonde that did the debate said this on the 5 yesterday. I guess she had never been a moderator for a debate before. She said the things that she said, and even though I've sat in the spin room or in the back room and watched it all, she said the things that shocked me are the things I weren't ready for was, and she talked about the fact that, Viagra and Chris Christie got booed like several times, but Chris Christie really got booed every time. And she said, I wasn't ready for that. I was
no, and I had a hard time. It was clear to see Christie getting booed. and your buddy Viagra was there were some coming. I just couldn't tell exactly what. I wasn't following maybe what individual statement they were doing, but he did get some, and I think maybe even Asa got a little bit. I don't remember.
Oh, Asa probably got some. She didn't bring that up, but Asa got some. But again, I don't on Chris Christie. Then and we'll go we've got those three goons out of the way. The biggest disappointment for me of the night, the one that I wanted to come through, the one that I wanted to do well, was Senator Scott. And again, I don't think he said anything bad other than he gets a little preachy. And him and Pence, they had a battle on who's the closest to God. But he didn't do anything to go anywhere, or I mean, he's not going to drop, but he didn't do anything to move up at all. Nothing.
I agree completely. That's where I'm at. And I like Tim Scott, and I've listened to him in many interviews, and I agree with his policy. I think he brings common sense politics to the table. I think he does a lot of those things, but he had to have had a better. He did not have a bad night. He did not have a good night. He just was there.
Was he there?
I mean, but you could forget him very easily. You're right.
Okay, Greg Gutfeld, it sums it up best. He said, and then Senator Scott left halfway through the debate. I mean, and that's kind of truly he was there, but he wasn't. So,
well, I think part of what you'll see on I think Tim Scott and maybe even Burgum, because they weren't as aggressive in trying to follow the rules on time. They weren't jumping in, and they weren't being challenged for their 30-second spots. They couldn't get many of those 30-second spots afterwards. But you are right, and Gutfield is right. If you just had me list them, I may leave him off if I'm in a hurry, just because there was nothing that overwhelmed me that I remember, good or bad.
Yeah, exactly, good or bad. Other people like Asa, whatever. I remember him being there because every single time I was like, dude, you just shut up. But I mean, again, that was bad. Then Pence, God, love Pence the pussy.
Okay. Time out. Wow. I'm gonna let you unload on Pence, but you have to have full disclosure. Pence and DeSantis, you have things that disqualify them for the most part. And rightfully so.
I look, I don't know what, and I'll get to DeSantis. I don't know what his issue with gays and drag queens are. I think maybe he was raped by one, but I don't know. But Pence, I don't care if you were gay. People in Indiana hated him, okay? But what he tried to attack people, and he's a pussy, so he's terrible at it. He didn't do, nobody likes him, and he tried to flip the script to being this passive, nice, older guy, because I don't think Pence is that old. He just has white hair. And then he tries we do know it's not time for on-the-job training. You're a rookie, you all this to Viagra. And I'm like, dude, just because you were Trump's yes man, you have training? Really? I didn't understand. Maybe he thought that would make him more believable as the commander-in-chief if he was combative and confrontational and those things, but he evidently isn't very up on the current status of all things president, because I put his personality and his demeanor on what Biden got elected on. He's the nice old guy that everybody can trust. You know what I'm saying? And now Joe has proven not to be that, and he gets angry and combative, and now people don't like him.
So you're confusing me. Did you read that personality in the debate, or that's what you had prior to the debate?
No, I think that's what I'm saying. Prior to the debate, I think Pence was kind of like a Biden type. You see what I'm saying? The nice, trustworthy, older guy that will keep things calm and stable. And then in the debate, all he did was try to fight people.
I think he was. I think it was intentional. I think he's trying to move from the fact that, okay, I am mild mannered, but there's no question he knows he needed to be more aggressive to get the vote. So I think that's what he was trying to do. I don't know that it obviously doesn't appear to have worked. But I don't think he had a chance, irregardless of what he did in the debate either. I don't think there was anything short of a miracle that he could have done in the debate to change the outcome of him.
And then it sounded to me the most desperate thing of the night, and this did scream of desperation, is when he was like, I think it's the American public has the right for everyone to know if they think that I upheld the Constitution on January 6th.
See, I'm okay with
that was desperate.
I looked into that a little deeper on what's legal, what he could have done, what he couldn't have done. And I don't know. It comes down to me. It was a gray area, and it's all about interpretation on whether he could have sent the vote back to legislation, basically the Senate, I believe. I think he could have done it. I think it would have been challenged. I think there was a lot of, I don't know what, I know what I wish he would have sent to.
I just don't understand why he felt he needed that validation.
Because I think it's something that he's been hammered on so hard that I think it's something very personal to him, that in his, and again, I'm trying to put stuff in his head like you do mine, and you're often wrong. So I'm probably wrong. I think that in his mind, he made a decision that he believed was the right decision, and he's caught a lot of heat for it. So it's very sensitive. It's very personal to him. And because of that, this is how he's acting out on it. And did the moderators not throw that?
No, they had talked about stuff, and then, but he came up with that on his own. Like, and it was during that whatever, but he did come up with it. And that's what I saw as desperate, was the fact that he just brought this.
I think he felt he had to address it because that's what he thinks everybody's holding against him. Right, wrong. I think a lot of people aren't even aware of it, to be honest with you, the average person out there. But in his mind, that's a huge, huge hurdle.
And again, I think he is probably, of all of them, other than Chris Christie and Asa, I think he probably did more wrong than right tonight. Because again, the attacking people, he made several confusing statements and things that went against. I mean, he wanted to ride the Trump Pence, which he kept saying the Trump Pence administration, all this, and then he would contradict himself. So I mean, I don't think he was as bad as Chris Christie, who was clearly suicidal, or Asa, but I think he did more wrong than he did right.
And maybe because I wasn't as concerned about what he did, because I don't think he's a contender, but he did not offend me. And I wasn't even opposed to what was the statement that really bothered you. This is not a time for Viagra. We don't need to teach them while they're in the White House, whatever his statement was.
No, I didn't. It didn't bother. He said this isn't the time for on-the-job training. Yeah. All this other that didn't bother me. But I was like, dude, you're not the person that's supposed to come out and attack people. Like, that's not your persona. Like, and he, I mean, he attacked Nikki Haley. He said, "You are my friend," but da 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 da. And I mean, and then his attacks were kind of weak anyway. Like, he never really.
I think he's he in
tried
general
to get the claws out, but then they didn't really. They kind of retracted when he tried to come back. I don't know, but I just whatever. Then your ex-boyfriend, that I'm very sorry that you broke up with him, and I know those wheels.
Did I am not completely okay. There's nobody on that stage unless Trump is shot, which Tucker talks about, and we'll get to that. Unless there's something that we are totally unaware of that can happen, even if Trump's in jail, may not do it, unless Trump cannot run, period. And for whatever reason that would be, I don't see anything short of being shot or killed or taken out or whatever it is. I do not believe any of those on the stage are going to beat him in the primary. We just, and Ryan, I'm sure Ryan agrees with this as well. We both agree on that, but I still think it's important to discuss these things. And I want to look at the big picture, and I'm going to sidetrack this here a little bit. I am going to be in the minority, and Ryan, you're not going to agree with this, but I am extremely displeased with the questions and the direction that the moderators from Fox threw out there.
Oh, I think that they literally tried to completely, kibosh any GOP hopeful.
I think it was it had to be intentional. Okay, let's just talk about a couple of them. Abortion. There's no two people in the country that are going to usually agree on if we should be pro-life, pro-choice, what date of termination is too long. It's impossible. That is an impossible issue to please the populace. You cannot. Anytime you take a stance, you're going to have about 20% of the people behind you because there's 100 different stances. And that one is impossible.
Way more than that.
Yeah, and for the most part, they're all, there's some variation, but they're all going the same general direction. I don't think that...
that was not even something that needed to be brought up.
No, not even.
At all.
So why didn't we talk more about Bidenomics? Why didn't we talk more about China? Why don't we talk more about the southern border? The things that I believe are truly important and on the people's mind. What about inflation? Tie that to Bidenomics and how we've got interest rates higher than we've ever had. New homeowners can't afford the mortgage. Credit card rates at 20%. If you're late, it's at 30%. There are so many things that I thought they should have taken them down a different path, yet they threw the questions out there that did probably push some people away, especially not so much the Republicans or the base, but maybe the independents. That bothered me. I was angry is the best way to say it. I was angry with Fox News. And if I knew what channel the Garage News was on, that's what's going to be on for the next couple of weeks.
There you go. Yeah, I agree with that. And I do not think DeSantis did terribly. I don't think there was anything there that he said that really hurt him. I also think that he is very awkward.
Yes, that's a good word for it. I believe you've tapped exactly what he is.
And I don't know how. Never noticed it before, but I noticed it from the very start, and this is why people don't like him, is he is very awkward. And again, you could see it so much when he would get done answering a question, he wouldn't know what his facial expression needed to be, how he needed to hold himself, all these other things. When other people were talking, the way he looked at them was extremely awkward. And again, not offensive, but it's like, dude, what are you doing? And but I don't think he said any, because I'm telling you, I think they were nicer to him than anybody else.
I thought Brett got on him one time pretty hard.
Okay, yeah, but they got on Viagra and Nikki pretty hard too. But I truly believe that I think he's done a nice job in Florida. There are things, and I'm just going to tell you, in my honest opinion, and I've studied his policy, he is as far right as Bernie is left. And that's why you were in love with him there for a little bit. Now y'all broke up because you like
I still believe he has the best policy, and he has a record that he put this policy in place that took pretty big balls to accomplish. What I appreciate, to me, he's a lot like Trump on when he's got something in his mind, he's going to do it, even if he catches some heat for it. And I cannot say, and I don't know where his gay policy is or what that was. I have not looked into that, but you tell me it's not good. So with the exception of that, his economic policy, his foreign, all of the things that he's
there is implemented. No foreign policy when you're the governor of Florida,
other than what he's telling us. And I do believe he's going to put America
I think
first.
There's nothing wrong with his economic policy. I think what he talked about of foreign policy was fine. I do think he's done some effective things. My thing with him is why I have problems with your love for him is you talk about how Trump is not electable in the general. Okay, the two biggest problems that Ron has is, number one, there are a lot of independents that may not be gay, but they are gay friendly, have gay friends, whatever, all this other stuff. He is very against all things homosexual.
You see, I only know, but the only reason I know this is because I visit with you.
Well,
and I don't know how I missed it. I'm not saying
all you have to do is Google the "Don't Say Gay" bill. I mean, literally, like that's all you got to do, Dale, and it's right there. But the more important thing to me, way more than that, is where he wants to tell people how to raise their children in terms of he is pushing a really hard agenda and what can be taught in schools. And I don't think that people like people telling them what their children need to be taught. I mean, it's it's same thing as the guy in Virginia. He won the governor's race because the other guy said that the school knows better than parents do.
Yes, and I don't believe that I think it's the opposite. I think he's preventing the schools from taking extreme measures in their teaching.
Again, you have not done your research, sir.
No, you are incorrect. He's not. I'm not saying he is telling the school, don't teach critical race theory. Don't discuss changing your gender at kindergarten or second grade or whatever. I think just common sense policy that he's saying, here's where you don't go out of bounds. And I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. Versus where they're going to normally take and push the woke bullshit. He is not allowing that.
We're just going to agree to disagree.
Okay. Now, I do want to admit, if he is a homophobe, that bothers me. And you appear to believe that there is no question that he has been assaulted by a gay person at some point.
Something like literally, I don't know if he's Catholic and the priest raped him or something, but he has got deep issues. But again, that's minor details. I do not think he did. I think he did very fine, not very well. I think he was third, and the reason I say he was third is because he did not have a breakout moment, good or bad. It was nothing that he never got thunderous applause, but he never got booed, and I don't think my deal with him on this deal is he was awkward, but like he needed to have that breakthrough moment, that one line that could go on every single thing over and over and over again where he nailed something, because he is the one that when he has gone nothing but down since he announced in the polls. That is not a good thing.
And I think you tapped exactly on why it was. To me, with this debate, what he had to do is stay strong to his policy. He did that, but he did not. The awkwardness takes away from his likability, his personality, all of those things. To me, he needed to come in and be more likable and still have that policy. Kind of like what I talked about in the beginning. When I could see what he's doing in Florida, and you're just seeing a few clips of him, you think, wow, he has Trump's policy, and as Ryan would put it, maybe even more conservative, and I'm okay with that, in a more likable package. The problem is he's not likable. I think he's slightly more likable than Trump, and I know you will disagree with that. I don't believe he takes the me, the I, the biggest. His way of putting words together is less offensive.
I think I have, after watching the debate, the one thing that I came to, and I haven't even shared this with you, but I have figured out why Ron is doing this. Finally.
Go ahead, please.
Because I never understand. I've said several times on the regular Beyond the Ring podcast, I do not understand why he would do this. Why? He's not going to win. Nobody needs to be a loser. All this other stuff. But I have now, and it is because I think he understands he's not going to be vice president. He's put too many swings at Trump to be anywhere in the administration, all this other stuff. He had to do this so they can teach him how to get over all this for when he really runs the next time.
That's possible. It may work. I don't know.
This is the dress rehearsal, because I mean, he does have, this is a problem for him. And I finally figured it out. And it's not just on the debate stage. Like at the Iowa State Fair, there were so many things that he did that were awkward while he was out there, whatever. This is, okay, we have this footage. Do you see what you did here? You can't do that again. This is what we have to do. I think this is dress rehearsal. Because everybody, a lot, like, again, you said name recognition. Everybody knows the governor of Florida. I mean, literally, people know him more than Camel Toe, probably. I think this was a dress rehearsal. This is what that's.
You see, I think we're engrossed in it, and I think our perception of who knows what. I still think there's half the population out there that prior to the debate, maybe even now, could not tell you what his title was, or if you asked who the governor of Florida was. I doubt that 50% of the country would get it, and I think that's crazy, and it's hard for me to put myself in that position to even assume that others don't. But I really think that you and we miss that sometimes.
But that is what came clear to me. I was like, this dude's got so many things that he's got to work out for when he really runs. This was the dress rehearsal.
See, if that's the case, you're giving the people around him or himself a lot of credit. And I hope you may be right, but that takes a lot of forethought.
Oh yeah. No, I'm telling you, because again, and if I am right, and I do think I'm right, because that's the only reason for him to do this at all.
It's very logical. I accept and agree with it.
If he knew it and he said it, that's even better. But even if his people that are close to him came and said, "Hey, look, this is what we have to do so we can get better for when it's really your time to run," and he accepted that and knew going in, I don't have a shot in hell at doing this, and this is going to be rough, and I'm going to take some lumps going in. Good for him. So I do think that, and again, I'd even talk to you about that yesterday because I was so concerned about you and your new boyfriend. But that was the moment of clarity for me of the whole debate. I was like, I get it now. This is his dress rehearsal, so they can make him not be so awkward and weird and all this other things.
And that may be very accurate. The problem with it is, and I'm gonna go a little bit personal, and I try to avoid that. I'm not comfortable with that, and that leads me to this.
We know
I am awkward, Ryan, very awkward inside myself. Very. I went into teaching partially to help overcome that awkwardness. It is not going to be easy for him to change that. That is him. That is instilled within him. Can he change it on the surface? Probably. But it's going to be hard.
But he's got to.
Yes, he cannot win without it.
No, he's that's the thing. He's got to, and I really do. That was the thing that came the most clear. But I will say, for me, the highlight of the debate, and again, they're not letting it out on my Facebook or whatever, but like because nobody, they're not letting anything out that I put up about anything political, but. I truly, and I did not think I would like her. I have not been a fan. I think Nikki Haley had a very good night, like an extremely good night. Again, I thought what she said, the things she said, she backed up with reason, with, rational thinking, all these things. Now, we go back to this electability thing. I don't think that, and again, this is not me because I'm telling you, if I had to vote right now, and again, Trump won, I would vote for her. There's not a doubt in my mind who I would vote for. I would vote for her. And I think she would do an excellent job. I think she played the woman card maybe a little too much at times, but she was also the only woman on the stage. But when we talk about an electability factor, not in the general, but in I don't, and even in the general, excuse me, I don't see the Republican base, which is predominantly or a large section of it, excuse me, not predominantly, but a large section of it is very old white men really getting excited about going to vote for an Indian woman in November.
I would agree, and you could take that to your newfound buddy as well.
Oh, no, that's worse. But, I mean, because she does not look Indian, but she is Indian. And again, I think the thing for her is more a woman thing.
I think it's more of an issue. No, this is going to sound terrible. More of an issue in the primary than the general.
I just don't see them getting fired up to go vote for her if she is the deal. But
you would have to listen to the debate like you did, and you'd have to do a little bit of research and have a true interest in politics and the direction that politics are going, to recognize that she came across, that she did back up what she said. Everything you talked about, you have to be paying attention and a little more into it. Otherwise, I think she's just another person on the stage. And I agree with you. She was, to me, if I put where I thought they were going to be prior to the debate and how they came out of it, she was one that went above the bar of expectations.
Yeah. And again, I mean, and I think she said some things that were very good, and I didn't see a blunder. But again, I think she had no expectations going in whatsoever at all, and she exceeded them by so much that put her, for me, as the clear winner, because she's really the only one that exceeded her expectations, which there was none.
And you were fairly hard on her prior to this.
Yeah, I mean, there was none expectations for her, but she did exceed them by a lot. So that's why she is the winner for me. And I'm telling you, I would vote for her. If Trump was not, that's who I would vote for.
Now,
as of now.
So that was your favorite. I have a favorite statement.
Mm-hmm.
I have several that I liked. I know you say there wasn't that many. I do have one from DeSantis that if they would have had me vote right then, he got my vote, period.
What was
It's when he stated he would send the military to the southern border and shoot the drug cartel on the spot. We're going to leave them stone cold dead. I'm in.
There you go.
In.
You like people that want to shoot people.
I think it's the only solution we have at this point on some of the problems, like the drug cartel and the fentanyl coming across.
Really
There's no other way.
People shooting people.
And ordering more guns, by the way.
I know you were ordering the most guns.
What about? I think it was your Viagra statement. More people dying from climate change from the climate change policy than climate change itself. Did you catch that one?
The best thing that I think Viagra Ramshackle said all night was that climate change is a hoax. That was about the best.
But didn't see, that's where I got a little confused, and I'm sure it was just me. I thought he got some booing on it.
He did. He got a lot.
Why?
Because most people do not believe as we do, Dale.
Well, they're wrong.
And even in the Republican Party, most people
do
not believe that. I just said I think the best thing that Viagra Ramshackle said was climate change is a hoax.
So earlier when I brought up the booing thing, that's what I was confused about. I truly thought they had to be booing something else.
No, they booed him on. He got booed twice, but that was the big one.
Do we not see that this is a Al Gore profit scam? It's craziness. And okay, maybe we've moved the dial a slight bit. It's cyclical. We could go forever on this, but even with all this, and I think maybe Viagra stated, I don't remember, it does not matter what we do if China and India continue to do what they're doing, and they're going to continue burning fossil fuels and all the above. Nothing we could go to a zero carbon imprint in the United States. And if there was climate change, that will not impact it because of where India and China are. And you could probably throw Africa in there as well.
No.
Shocking to me that you're telling me they truly booed that.
Yes.
I'm very angry about that.
Well, I can't help that you get angry about a lot of shit, but I mean, I can't help that. But so again, moving on to your latest boy toy, Viagra Ramshackle. I'm gonna
the only one we haven't talked about yet.
Yes, we've talked about everybody else. I'm gonna start out with the fact that I don't like this person. I just don't.
I want to speak up. I can verify that Ryan does not like this person.
I did not like this person before the debate, but I really don't like him now. And
no, if I were to say anything positive that he had energy or anything, you would get very defensive.
I do not like that man, and I just don't. And I'm going to give you.
I'm okay. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's electable. I'm not saying any of those. No, I don't love him at all. I appreciate that he's not afraid to come out and similar to DeSantis, they have a stance on some policies that may not be real favorable, and it doesn't appear, and maybe he's never been put in a position where he has to hold to it, but I believe that he's not that far off of Trump's policy. And I appreciate that, and he's not afraid of it. Kind of like the climate change statement.
You love him now forever. I should have never told you that they booed him on that, but they did.
Yeah, that helped. That did help.
Exactly.
The way, yes.
Should have never been honest with you about that. So I cannot believe, he is the one that was increasing in the poll numbers and all this stuff. I can't believe that whoever, and again, all of these people have a, gaggle of people telling them what to do, what to say, all this other stuff. And he starts out.
This part is not good.
He starts out his introduction to America, because you think people don't know who Ron DeSantis are. Nobody knows who the hell Vivek Ramaswamy is. Okay.
That's just because you can't say his name.
Viagra Ramshuckle's much better. And by the way, if anyone is listening and wants to give that nickname to Trump, go right ahead. I think it'd be great. But anyhow,
I think Trump's being pretty plain nice with him right now. There's a
because
position.
he literally sucks Trump off all through the debate. But
I thought it was brilliant on his part.
Which is another thing that bothers me. But anyway, let me get through this. He plagiarized Obama, who is the skinny guy with the funny last name. That is the exact same things that Obama said. And that
he was aware of this, and he was aware that people were going to call him out on it. So he made a choice to do that.
But why?
Did it bring Obama success? Did something bring Obama success? It worked.
Was a Democrat.
It worked. I know. It was so offensive to me when you had mentioned it that I was angry again. But maybe there's a purpose. Maybe it's the independence.
I can see no purpose in plagiarizing anyone, because that just bothers me. Plagiarism bothers me on a very deep level.
Well, you should be very bothered by our current leader in chief.
And the first time he ran for president, the reason he had to get out is because he plagiarized somebody else's speech. Okay, that's the reason he got ran out of the first time. But plagiarism bothers me, and again, it is a lot because I, on a personal level, because I try to speak in colorful ways and do things and whatever, and people try to plagiarize me, and it pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie, and so that on a personal level just makes me angry. But I see no rationale in introducing yourself to the Republican base and quoting the most popular Democratic president doing the exact same thing, which if he's the most popular Democratic president, you know what that makes him in the Republican Party.
Yes.
The least popular.
Yes.
And so there's that.
Did you got a text from somebody, didn't you?
I got a text? Yeah.
You did. I got at the last cattle show that I judged.
Oh, no, what?
I was talking about sexy heifers, big booties.
Oh, no.
Cheerlegged, all of those.
I didn't hear any about that. Good for you. But
maybe I didn't.
Yeah. I think that he did more harm for himself than he did good, but he got a lot of press attention. And I think that's what he was going for.
And I think that's what he needed.
And I think he had some moments. Said climate change as a hoax. I think the other thing, he said something about frack.
It was good.
Yeah, it was frack.
Drill, burn,
coal,
frack.
Right, drill, frack, coal, and nuclear energy. I think that was good.
I thought it was really good.
And then there was some things that I was like, what in the hell is wrong with you? Because again, so Chris Christie attacked him and brought out the fact that he played. I mean, good for Chris Christie knowing before everybody else that he plagiarized Obama.
So do you think he had that before the debate, or he just winged it on stage?
No, because they did not say we're going to give each candidate a chance to introduce themselves. They just did it. So now, but good for Chris Christie for knowing that. But when Chris Christie attacked him for plagiarizing about Viagra, and Bree's like, yeah, help me out. Show him, tell him, give me a hug. I was like,
I love the hug part. I didn't catch it right at first, but after
what the hell is wrong with you? You don't want to be associated.
Independence.
And then there was so many times that he would just spout out shit that made no sense. And again, do I think he is one of the winners of the debate because he got more press attention than everybody else? Yes. And if you believe that negative attention is attention, which he got a lot of, more than I thought they were going to crown him the new king of the republic, like the pundits, not the people, the pundits, because that's what I thought, because at first, and then by yesterday afternoon, they had all turned on him. But the reason you want to talk about an electability problem, not just in the primary, in the general, old white people are not going to vote for a man that looks like him. They're not.
I don't know about in the general. I'm not going to say you're far off in the primary. I thought from obviously I think he had success in the debate. I don't think he had as many missteps compared to his attention that he brought. I think the debate was a plus for him.
I said I think he garnered the most attention. He definitely was the one that talked the most, whatever. And then again, when you do that, you open yourself up for the most criticism, and he's gotten a lot of it. But now people are digging into him.
Yes, that is where problems may arise.
And I know that George Soros's brother gave him a $90,000 scholarship that was need based, that he accepted it when he made $10 million that year in law school. So that's not good. And even though it's
compared to other crap, it's yeah.
But again, now they're digging in, and they're going to find that there was something mentioned about some 911 talk or whatever. I don't know what he said, this is the problem now. You've done it, big dog. Good job for you, Viagra. Now I hope that you're prepared to handle them digging in and finding out all of your nonsense, because again, that is the one thing that I will stick by this. There is nothing they can bring out on Trump now. It has all been out. There's nothing. And all these other people, they all have skeletons in their closet that have yet to come out.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to happen with Trump, you watch, when we now can allow a DA at the county level or state level to bring charges, that's all they've got left. There may be a couple more coming. Indictments, that is. It's frightening, but it's unbelievable. There has to be a legislative change there somehow. Okay, with that, I'm going to go back to your Mr. Viagra. He proved to me that he's not afraid to speak his mind. He proved to me that obviously a very successful business person, high energy. There's a lot of things there that
he had the best teeth by far.
Yes, a lot of things that I can appreciate about him. Is he ready to be president? I don't know.
He will never be president.
None of these are, and we're talking about all of them.
No, I'm talking 20 years from now, dude's not going to be president.
I believe that he will have unless something drastically changes, he will have a position with Trump if Trump becomes a president.
Yes, because literally he sucked Trump off the most of any.
He mentioned that Trump may have been the best president in this century.
The greatest president of modern times, which, here's my thing. You say that, and I agree with him 100%. So if he's the greatest president in modern times, Why the fuck are you running?
I think he's running because something may happen to Trump and then they have an alternative.
But he didn't say that.
Or he's running to get a cabinet position or a vice president position.
Oh, he ain't going to be vice president, I promise you.
But, you know who we're voting for vice president, right?
We'll talk about the possible VP
all right.
in a minute. But again, this is the struggle. And you brought it up earlier, for me at least. All of these people were on Trump's policies, all this other stuff for the most part, and you're proud of that, okay? And happy about that. I get that. No one up there proved to me or said anything about, yes, I think Trump, whatever policies are great, but this is why I need to be the nominee. This is why I'm different than Trump. This is what I can do differently. Or just say, I'm electable.
Okay, this may not have it did not happen on stage. Did you listen to Nikki Haley's interview with Hannity?
Yes, now she said that after.
She said it. I wish she would have.
But she didn't say it on
stage. I don't know how she could have. It would have been difficult to work that in a short period of time. But she was honest about it. She probably hung herself a little bit with Trump on it. But I'm telling you, she was honest, and I was more impressed with her reasoning why, and basically didn't Hannity ask that question in that manner. I don't know how it came up, but it was
something along that. But and she did a brilliant job and she handled it well. But why didn't she just do that on stage?
I think limited time, nervous, finding a direction to work it in, and still.
Okay, so I agree. Nervous. I think that because she was a little nervous, even though she did well. You could tell she was nervous saying it there one-on-one with Hannity.
Well, explain what she said to the people. You remember it probably better than I do.
Well, she just said that. I mean, I don't remember exact words. Donald Trump was her friend. She agrees with 90% of his policy, all this other stuff. But she is the one that is electable because he is the most hated politician in America.
And he has no choice, and she doesn't agree with it. But he's going to have to spend a lot of next year in the courtroom.
Right. That the campaign, his ability to campaign and get his message out is going to be prohibited by all of these court trials and court dates and all this other stuff. Okay.
Not that she agrees with it, and she will go after the DOJ.
She's going to absolutely gut the DOJ for doing this in his honor, I think was her words.
I thought it was brilliant how she handled it.
Yeah, I do too. But you could tell she was nervous about it, and at least she said it, and I do think that's right. Here is my thing, though. If you're going to be nervous about saying that, and there's nothing, everything she said was factual. Every single thing she said was factual. If you're going to be nervous about saying that, how are you going to handle actually sticking to Trump policy when you are commander in chief? Because a very good friend of mine said the other day, I don't understand why we can't find somebody that wants all of Trump's policy but doesn't act the way Trump does. And I explained to this person, and as I explained to Dale, I said, you have to have Trump's personality and Trump's way of thinking and all the things that people don't like about Trump to actually stick to your guns and do what you want to regardless when you're in that position.
Even though all the me, I, biggest, best, all of that crap that eats at me does come along with it.
But that's it. I mean, that's the thing.
And I think that, but I want to, and again, you never know until they're in that position if they're going to hold to it. I felt, and again, it may be my wishful thinking. Maybe I'm becoming an optimist on the political stage. Several of the candidates on the stage, to me, come across that they're going to implement nearly 90%, as Nikki Haley or you stated, the same policy as Trump. And I think several of them are more likable than Trump. And that's not setting a very high bar with the populace.
No, it's not.
But I do believe that we have several up there that are close on policy and more likable. The problem is they have not been put in that White House hot seat and see if they follow through with it. It takes a lot of politicians promise a lot of things, but Trump is one of the only that absolutely holds to it, no matter what kind of heat he takes. I don't know if these can withstand that heat. I think if there is one that can, you're not going to like it, but it's your homophobe DeSantis.
Good for you.
He may put you in jail. He's such a homophobe.
Literally, that's great. But so that's my take on the debate. I do think that we need to touch on Tucker and Trump's interview, and then we'll briefly talk about the indictments. But I originally thought it was a huge mistake for Trump not to do the debates. I think it was, I'm not going to say it was brilliant, but I don't think it was a mistake. Do I think he can avoid all the debates? No. But I think what he did with Tucker the other night for what he needs was exceptional.
Now, wait a minute. Isn't Tucker the one that you didn't like?
I don't like Tucker because he is far more right than even DeSantis and
have you noticed a pattern in who I gravitate to?
Yeah, crazy people. That's so. You have a podcast with me, so that just
oh my, that strengthens it. That is the big.
Yeah. But I thought Trump never once raised his voice, never once got it. He was controlled, commanding. All of these, even when he talked about the 2020 election, he didn't go off the rails. He stated what he thinks. And I don't think there's anything wrong with him thinking the election was stolen from him, because in some ways it was. I mean, and he didn't.
No, I'm not going to argue that either.
He didn't focus on it. He only brought it up when Tucker brought it up. I thought that was as good an interview as he has had since maybe he came down the escalator. And I thought the last 5 minutes was brilliant.
Recap, please.
So in the end, Tucker asked him, if you get elected again, what are you going to do? And he talked about that the biggest crisis is the border. And that is the truth. And and he talked to some economic things. And then Tucker asked him about Civil War. And what he said was
he avoided the direct question.
Not really.
Yeah, he did.
No. He said, I have never seen this much passion, and I have never seen this much anger, and that is not a good combination.
And that was a smart answer, but he did not answer it very directly.
Well, Trump can't be put on tape saying, yes, if you don't elect me, there's a civil war.
He was thinking it.
That answer was brilliant.
It was good. It was good. So while we're talking about that, you're saying that it was the best one ever. I agree. There's a couple things I would pull out. Do you remember when he's talking about we don't have Asa, your former Arkansas Hutchinson?
Right. Yep.
Okay. So he basically dismisses him as an idiot, which fine. That didn't bother me. What did bother me is in the same sentence, basically, or the next sentence, he talks about, and he says, I don't understand how he was elected governor of Arkansas. Arkansas, they love me and I love them. Those are the things that let's just take those out and we're going to appeal to more people. Everybody loves me. I'm the biggest. I'm the best. Just drop some of that. That's where I'm at.
You have been on this for 8 years now.
I can't handle it. It eats at me. Why? It's something so simple that would, and again, you talked about his personality and implementing that's part of it. But if you could just change that up a little bit, you become more electable.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but
he can't help
it.
But
again, I thought there was less of that in this interview than ever before.
There was. No, you're right. He made progress there, and it's similar to DeSantis. It's going to be hard for him to not be awkward. It just is. And if this is a trial run, maybe I guess he was probably he came across less awkward in the debate than he has some of the.
See, I never picked up on it till the debate.
I picked up on it. Well, I don't know if it was me or just listening to the news, but yeah, prior to the debate, I didn't. When he was speaking, I didn't think the awkwardness was as bad. You're right.
It's immediately when he gets done speaking.
Yes, that you absolutely.
So they've trained him. They've trained him out of it while he's talking, but immediately after he gets done talking, it is like right there and huge. But yeah, but again, back to Trump and Tucker.
Okay,
I did not. Yes, I agree. That was the one time there was the I, the me, the whatever. But there was a lot of we's.
That's way better.
There was a lot of we, and all this stuff. I liked how controlled, confident, and it wasn't. So my issue with Trump, and I said this, I don't know if it was on Beyond Starter, but when he came out and announced his run this time, like, I think they had been on him so much, you've got to be calm, you've got to be whatever, all this other stuff, yada, 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 that he almost came across as boring and asleep on when he announced. And then you got halfway through it and he livened up and it was back to whatever.
He was making it was evident he was making a conscious effort.
Right. This was perfect. Controlled, calm but commanding, not calm but boring or whatever. I really.
Okay, time out. Are you secretly sleeping with him?
No. I would.
We don't need it. We don't need another.
I would sleep
that.
with Don Jr. That's
no. Why would you? No.
I think he's hot, but yeah. I mean, if I'm going for a member of the Trump family, it's Don Jr. But anyway, but I do think that this was a good move. I don't think I'm not saying he can't run from all the debates, but he got to do this. He got to show that he doesn't have to be there. And there, like, I didn't know that Reagan and all these other people had done this or whatever before. And so he's flexing a little bit. And I don't think it hurt him at all. I probably helped him because, again, if you look at the ratings, more people clicked on, and how long they stayed, I don't know, but way more people clicked on that. But as I told Dale yesterday, there's many people that hate Trump that clicked on it that love him. So,
and I think the good part, and I think everything you're saying about that was right. And I listened to it. I don't know that there's going to be a lot of people that play the whole thing. I just don't. But I think in concept, everything was. I think the views, all of those things you're talking about, is correct. And I want to give him compliments because prior to the debate, Ryan, you and I were talking, and I believe you agreed. We agreed that I thought it was a mistake.
No, I thought it was a huge mistake
to not go on the debate, partially because then Biden can use it later in the general. Well, Trump didn't debate. Why do I want? It puts Biden or whoever that is in a better position to not debate Trump if that is what it comes to. However, it wasn't very long into the debate that I completely changed my train of thought and realized lucky, brilliant, I don't know what, but that was absolutely the best move Trump could make, is not being there. And
because I agree with you, and I want to state why. I think because the debate was entertaining, but there was a lot of chaos and a lot.
I think I found it the most entertaining debate I've seen.
But entertaining kind of in a train wreck way.
Yes.
Okay.
And I blame that on Fox a little bit.
Right. No, I agree. But if Trump would have been center stage, they would have said that Trump was the one that caused all the chaos. All the chaos happened and Trump wasn't there. And it was before they ever brought up Trump.
And that makes him the winner of the debate.
Exactly. All of that happened. He wasn't there. And it was before they ever got to talking about Trump that it had all started and all commenced and all this other stuff. And so, yeah, I think that's right. And again, I don't know if that was his decision, a group decision, whatever, all this other stuff. But I do think it was a wise decision because now everybody's like, oh, shit. Okay, even when he's not there, these people it's a circus act. So yeah, but so good for him.
What about there's a couple things he said in there that you may not be as excited about, but there's two things I really enjoyed. What about when he got on a little bit of a rant on the Panama Canal? How
that was brilliant, though.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter sells it for
Jimmy
$1.
Carter sells it for $1. Stupidest idea, and he's right.
Yes,
he is absolutely 1000% right.
And this is the stupid shit that we do.
And that's what he said. He says, he says our country does more stupid shit than any other in the world, and he is 100,000% correct.
And now who controls it? China. Indirectly. Yeah. I don't know that they technically own it, but they control it.
But they control it.
And that's huge.
China like controls the Panama Canal as much as the drug cartels control our border right now. Okay, yes. That's the similarity.
And I'm curious what they can charge a lot of money because they're not going to go around.
No, because you can't. I mean, he explained it. He says you can't go around. The waters are too treacherous. The storms are too whatever. I mean, but yeah. And again, and that just shows me, and I'm glad you brought that up. That because we hadn't talked about that. We haven't even talked about it because you hadn't watched it last night or whenever we last saw it. But that shows you that not only does he understand and get it, but he has been paying attention for a very long time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's no, and so, I get the people because we've got the 80-year-old shirtless beach bum in the White House right now. I get that that's not good. And I know Trump's only 4 years younger than him, but completely different mental state, energy level, all this other stuff. But there's also nothing wrong with somebody like Trump that has been paying attention for years and years and years, but is not a career politician. And because Pence said something about how we didn't need a president that's too old, but we don't need a president that's too young. I was like, dude, it's not about age to me. I mean, again,
not the chronological age.
No, it is about your policy, your mental fitness, your all this other stuff. But the whole, and I was talking to Clifton about this before, but that was just one of the moments I was like, Jesus Christ, he's been paying attention to all the stuff that America's done bad long before he ever came down the escalator in 2015. Like, this guy gets it. But the whole thing, and I do blame the shirtless beach bum that is the president right now for this. RFK working out shirtless and Viagra ramshackle playing tennis shirtless and all this. And even
I thought you were going to blame it on Putin riding a horse shirtless.
No, Clifton did. Clifton said that's where it started.
Because I'm with him.
I'm like, how did this start? And he said Putin riding the horse. And I was like, yeah. But why are we doing this? Like, again, I don't get it. Even Suarez, who didn't make the debate, he's all muscled up and whatever, and he did some. This does not impress the majority of the people because I'm just going to be real honest with you. Over half of America don't look like RFK, Wade Jr. and all that. They don't care about your muscles and all this other stuff. And if part of the criteria for being president is a beauty contest, or if you're hot, Gavin Newsom is winning and we're all fucked.
Oh gosh, no, Gavin isn't. We haven't even got to that point. But
I'm just telling you, if that is the criteria, he is the one.
There are people that are impressed by that. There's a reality show that I've seen a little bit of, and I don't watch much TV, but Temptation Island, they're all shirtless, right? Seems to be a big deal.
You must be in love with some girl on this Temptation Island thing.
No, they're all crazier than you is the entertainment value. All of them.
Oh, so there's like 24 of them on an island that are worse off than me.
Crazier you, and they have zero IQ. It's quite it's amazing. Okay, what you're not telling me the one thing I really wanted you to dig into. Tucker. What? I will be Tucker.
Okay.
Have you ever been concerned with them
Oh,
going to kill you?
Yeah.
Going to kill you.
Yeah.
How did Trump answer that?
See, I don't know if he ever really did.
He basically brushed it off a little bit that he wasn't that concerned.
Right. Yeah.
Which he needs to be concerned, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I agree that he needs to be concerned. And that's, and we'll get into the indictment.
Tucker asked it point blank.
Twice.
Are you concerned
Twice.
that they will kill? I don't know who he said will kill you, but
no, he said, so they've impeached you. They've indicted you. None of this has worked. You're still at 62%, whatever. He says, the only thing left they can do is kill you. Are you concerned that your life is in danger or whatever?
He definitely did answer yes.
No, he did not answer yes. And what I thought was weird is Tucker said it kind of early on, and then he brought it up again.
He was wanting an answer.
Right. But if you're Trump and you say, I don't think you can say, yes, I'm concerned that my life is in danger, because that makes you seem weak or paranoid or, all the things. I guess if I would have been him, the way I would have answered, I would have probably said, Tucker, I don't know. I have great Secret Service and I'm kept as safe as I can. But if I die trying to make this country great again, then I've served my purpose.
Yeah, that would have been a home run.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only way I can see answering that question. And I don't know why Tucker wanted to bring that up. I mean, it's valid. It is very, very valid. And I will say it got me thinking that he's right. But
I think by bringing it up, there's less of a chance of it happening.
He went back to it. He went back to the well again. I was like, okay, we've already addressed this. This is awkward. Let's not bring this up again. But yeah, so there you go.
Well, the interview again. I'm with you on the Trump interview. We can visit briefly about the indictment, and I want to Jen Psaki circle back just one moment. So I don't. China came up a couple times in the debate, not like I thought it should have, obviously, and I blame that on the moderators. Do you realize that if one of those up there, and maybe I don't think they stated in this manner, but if one of those candidates would have sidetracked onto China, or they'd have been allowed to with a question and stated how we can bring them to their knees, and I believe maybe Viagra did a little bit. All we have to do is step up energy production in the U.S., move all the manufacturing, the production back to the U.S., or at least to the Americas. China does not have enough energy to support themselves. They do not have enough food to feed their people. All of this has to be purchased. And guess who funds all of this? U.S. dollars, because we have so much manufacturing and so much production of goods that come back to the United States from China. We finance their ability to feed themselves and their ability to purchase energy. And we've talked about this so many times. And I think Viagra touched on it, Ryan. I'm pretty sure he did in a similar manner. Maybe didn't hit a home run with it. But if one of those candidates, and I'm obsessed with bringing China back down to where they need to be, if one of them can simply state that, and I think Trump has. Trump not only states it, he did it. He bumped our energy production up. He put China in a position where they were weak. Then they released COVID on us. So back all the way to that.
Glad you brought that up. Go ahead.
And again, before we totally leave the debate, and I'm going to be in the minority, period. I like the concept that there's so many of those on the stage that agree with Trump's policy. I pray that if one of them were ever to get in the White House, that they would hold to that. And I like the direction that several of those candidates are going, even though we can call it an entertainment mess. It was a lot of things. If I just cut out all the crap and look at where they stand or where they say they stand on policy, I'd love the direction the Republican Party's going.
Okay. My thing on that is, and this is where I'll give your ex-boyfriend props. I think the only one that would actually come close to standing to what he's saying he's doing would be DeSantis, and that means that I'd probably end up in jail, which you would like.
They allow you phone privileges, but remember they took those away from Joe.
They took those away from Joe, but I think he's the only one that actually has the intestinal fortitude, nuts, whatever you want to say, to actually do that. And that is the difference for me. We know what Trump has done. We know what he will do. Again, do I have questions on, are there enough of independents to get him elected? Will the what is greater? Is it going to be people wanting Biden out, going to overlook their things that they don't like about Trump? I have all those questions. We know what Trump's going to do. We've seen it. He's done it. All these other things. And he's in the race. If he's not in the race, I get it. But he's in the race. And unless they kill him, he's not going anywhere.
I think that's brilliant. And exactly what you're stating. How many want to vote against Biden out, or voting that they don't like Trump, do like, all those things are playing a role. I want to ask you, if Trump is not in the race, of those on the stage, which one do you feel more comfortable with in the White House?
DeSantis.
And Nikki Haley would be, if she'd follow through.
I like Nikki Haley the best.
Yeah.
I think, and this is going to sound so sexist, but it's just honest.
Then don't say it.
No. I don't think that she would be able to stick to what she wants to do, being the first female president.
But I think she comes across as a very strong woman.
No, I don't think she would fold.
You'd even go further. Strong person, period.
Right. No, just strong person.
I think everybody.
Fold, but whoever the first woman president is going to have some issues on that. Regardless if they're Democratic, Republican, whatever, there's going to be just some things that you have to deal with. They're being the first of something. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I would not. And again, I want Trump in the White House. I don't know if he's electable. I don't know if they're going to derail him in some other manner. All of those things. And I don't love his way of putting words together sometimes, but I want him in the White House, period. However, I feel better now than I did before the debate that I could take some of those on stage and put them in the White House. And I feel much more comfortable at this point.
There you go.
Do not, probably.
No. Mm-mm.
And again, that's just saying if Trump cannot be for whatever reason. And I don't even want to go down that path. What about is going to Georgia, flying into Atlanta to get his mugshot and processed?
Well, again, that whole shit show that it is. I think he was in and out in 15 minutes. I think it was handled as they blocked off everything. They cleared airspace. They did all this other stuff. I guess also it probably didn't hurt that the night before Tucker Carlson said you're going to get killed twice. But I think other than releasing the mugshot and making him be fingerprinted, which is absolutely asinine, and we all know it is, and they all did it for a reason, it was handled probably as professionally as it could have been.
I was shocked with how quick it was, all of those things. I think it's total bullshit. And we have to legislate something where the president or even political, I want to hold political officials to the fire just like anybody else. But because every district attorney in every county in the country, in theory, can bring shit charges against somebody that's running for president.
Official.
Yes.
Anybody.
We're going down a path that is unbelievable. I mean, it cannot continue. Our democratic process will be brought to its knees if this is allowed to continue. And it just can't. And I don't understand the law well enough. I don't know how to legislate it. I don't know any of those things, but this cannot happen. If there's a true issue, then it, to me, if it's the president or even somebody running for president, it goes to the federal courts, and it just has to. At this point, it's insane. I'm very concerned.
I and again, they were talking on Hannity last night. I think it was that where they were talking about getting the Georgia deal removed from somewhere else and all this other stuff. And I guess Trump got 32% of the vote in Fulton County, whatever. But the one thing that Hannity brought up that I think is right, and again, Trump is going to have probably the legal team to end all legal teams. You just got to find one person on that jury that says "fuck you."
And I think you. And this is going to sound terrible for our legal system. In this situation, I think you're going to find the jury follow their exact political belief. If they voted for Trump, they're going to vote. They're going to clear him. If they did not, they're going to hang him. And unfortunately, it's that bad. They've got to get one on there. What I don't understand, Ryan, I know in a jury process, I always manage to not go to jury duty. I have something going on usually, and it works. So I don't understand the process as well as I should. And I know each defense team can approve or disapprove certain people from being on the jury, but I don't know that process well enough that why would I do not believe the prosecutor is going to want to allow a conservative on there. I don't know if they can stop it, but I don't understand.
But you only get and I don't know, it may be different, but you only get so many times where you can X people. You can't X all of them.
That's logical. And you have a pool of X amount. You only have so many black balls you can do.
Yeah. And I think at some point the judge can override you, but that would not be good because the judge is liberal, and maybe not, but and I don't know all the whatever, but
so the odds are decent. You could get one conservative on there.
I mean, and that's the whole thing. Like, and I agree with you. This is how sad this is for the judicial system. But like in this instance, because and I guess it's not sad because this is purely political theater. This is what this is. There is no the RICO charges, all this other stuff. None of this she's not going to be able to prove it. And like everybody is like, please put cameras in the courtroom so you look like an idiot, all this other stuff. But this is a purely political trial. So yes, getting one conservative, they're going to say no. But I think, and they go back and this was hashed out again last night. Of all of these indictments, the only one that has any legs, and it's not much, is the federal documents, whatever, all this other stuff. Again, I think because the other indictments are all the other three indictments are federal, right? No, there's one in New York. Sorry, so two of them. Sorry. I think that even though they're probably not, I think the DOJ is going to have to be very, very careful on how they play this. And if you notice, there hasn't been any more traction on them because I think they're waiting to see if Biden's going to stay in the race. Is Trump definitely going to win the primary? All this other stuff. Because if Biden is the nominee and Trump is the nominee, okay? And Biden's Department of Justice is saying you have to be in court on these dates while he's running against Biden, that's not going to play well at all.
No, I agree. And I'm not a legal scholar, so I don't know how all this is going to unfold legally, but I can go back to common sense. And when Biden, even Pence and Trump all have the classified documents in their possession, and it's been uncovered that they had those, they can't just hang Trump. It's just that simple without hanging Biden. And I think you're right. And you know what? When I start looking at all the pieces of the puzzle, the unlikeliness of Biden being able to be reelected, Biden is going to get thrown to the wolves. He just is. And I want to watch every bit of it. I'd rather he was the Democrat candidate, but I'm also going to enjoy watching the media and all those turn on him.
If alive.
Yes. And I right now, it may not happen, but I think it will.
No,
there's watch the charges come out. Watch it. They're just going to dogpile on him.
There's too many again, I know you don't watch the other networks, but there's too many times that I've heard in the past 2 weeks, like a Jake Tapper or somebody else from, I don't even know any of the names on MSNBC because I can barely, like, you think CNN's bad, you should try to watch that other bullshit.
I can't.
Anyway,
I can't hardly watch Fox at this point.
There's been too many people that said that by the end of the year, he probably won't be the nominee. So, and I mean,
on the liberal channels,
right, on the liberal channels. And so again, we're in August, so we've got 4 months till the end of the year, basically. And but oh God, Jim Jordan was on Hannity last night. They've got more stuff, and they weren't even talking about Hunter. They were talking about Joe.
Do you know who you want me to tell you the second person I'd appoint into the White House?
Jim Jordan.
Oh God, yes.
He should be vice president, but Trump can't pick a white male, but he should be vice president. I think Jim Jordan is
he's great. The best. He is
wonderful. Wonderful man. But yeah, I think, and again, talking about somebody that I think is playing smart and doing the right things, that could be a guy that could run next time, that because of all the stuff he's done, have to see what happens, but he's not done, and I think he's got greater ambition.
No, and he's polarizing to the liberals, but I'll tell you what, I think the conservatives and hopefully enough of the independents would get behind somebody like that.
No. I
hope. At some point, if he wants to run for the White House, he has a pretty good path.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Well, Ryan, we went a little bit long. I don't know what we're supposed to do for Beyond the Circus, but we've had a lot of people requesting, assuming that there was going to be one, and we really hadn't talked about doing one. But yeah, it was evident once that debate started that this needed to happen. So Clifton is going to drop this thing as raw and as quick as he possibly can. And I appreciate you finding the time and Clifton finding the time last minute. And until the next Beyond the Circus, get out and vote.
Y'all come back now, you hear?